whiskey.
Good morning, it's another day, my friend. But soon the sunshine turns to moonlight, life goes on. It takes some time to say goodnight. You close your eyes to dream. Next thing, tomorrow's here again.
It's a brand new day, never hold on to hate. Cause you was placed here to be great. Please take your place. All queens got a seat at my table. Cause without y'all, then the man ain't able. Melanated queen, connected to the universe. And so I gotta thank my mom for my birth. If hate is the curse, then love is the remedy. So I send you love no matter creed or identity. Until infinity, look at you like you kin to me. Even when we disagree, yo, you still kin to me. In other words, I can't bring you no trouble, can't bring you no beef, don't wanna see you deceased. Now if I'm coming at you, I'm coming with a business plan. Cause every day I'm on some, yo, let's get this money, man. Yeah, and that's my real plans. I rest my head at night, I wake up, I got another plan.
Good morning, it's another day, my friend. But soon the sunshine turns to moonlight, life goes on. It takes some time to say goodnight. You close your eyes to dream. Next thing, tomorrow's here
It's a
again.
lot of high rappers tell me why we don't get money together, but we'll kill each other over whatever. Running down the freeway, we gonna own down. If Black Lives Matter, why we gonna own down? That's why they laugh and they think that we clowns. They hear what we say, but see how we get down. We gotta change that now, right now to be exact. Cause hurting that man's moms is not where it's at now. Old school, new school need to learn, yo. They put us in groups so they can make more dough. The young versus the old versus the young. Black versus white, you see the pattern, right? No unity, keep them all on some gutter-ish. This way they don't prosper and get rich. Yo, can't you see it's a trick? Just open your third eye and you'll see the full view of it. Now yo, what if the powers that be know that the real power lies within the people? That's us. And what if they using things like crayon colors, black and white, to separate the people? Hey, yo, you gotta wake up. Don't let them fool y'all. Spread love.
Good morning, it's another day, my friend. But soon the sunshine turns to moonlight, life goes on. It takes some time to say goodnight. You close your eyes to dream. Next thing, tomorrow's. Good morning, it's another day, my friend. But soon the sunshine turns to moonlight, life goes on. It takes some time to say goodnight. You close your eyes to dream. Next thing, tomorrow's here again. Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning.
All right, good morning, everybody. Y'all know what to do. Drop a 1 in the chat if you can hear me. Drop a 1 in the chat if you can see me. It is Tuesday, I believe. It should be Tuesday. I don't know. Y'all know I be messing up these days. Shout out to everybody who's in the building. Hopefully y'all are doing well. Let me know how you're feeling in the chat this morning. All right, it looks like we got some ones in here. Now we just got to see how we looking. Yeah, there we go. Looking all crispy and clean on the screen. Welcome, y'all. Welcome back to another YouTube live stream and another episode of the Music Morning Show. I'm your host, ClassE Beats of ClassEbeats.com. And this morning, listen, y'all, I'm gonna be real. I don't know what's gonna go on today. Judge Whitaker has had us on ice for pushing now. I mean, we can say 5 days because it's Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. And now, I mean, we're waiting the 5th day on Tuesday to see what is going on because there was no court on Friday. And then we kind of had a little bit of things going on Thursday. So it'll be interesting to see what happens. But before I get into it, I got to show some love to the people, man. Shout out to everybody who's in here. Good to see all of y'all who are in here. And I apologize for the delay. I know we had a little bit of a delay because I was trying to figure out what was going on with, excuse me, with trial. But of course, we've got the amazing Amy in here this morning with the new profile pic. Look at her go. And Kate Wilson's in here. We got Nicole A. Fitz. We got Lunachick in the building. Mark is in the building as well. Good to see you. Fatima's in here. Shout out to Michi up in here, always showing love. AR's in here. Tina. Valencia's in the building. We've got Kimberly Milton. Denise. Wendy's in here. Did I say what's up to Mark? Shout out to Mark. We've got Shari Lee is in the building too. Good to see you. Who else is up in here? We've got Cookie Cook. Shout out to Monica. Debbie is in here. Lavisa. Good to see you. We've got Deanna. Oh my gosh. JB is in here as well. My dog Sean P is in the building. Fatima, Drama Llama, Mel. Oh my gosh. Odor of Mendacity is up in here too. Thank you for the super thanks that you gave the other day too. I appreciate that, and you did not have to do that. We got Wave Lori up in here. It says free Jeff. We've got Mids Girl is in the building. Oh man, I know I missed a bunch of y'all, but hopefully everybody's doing well this morning. We're gonna see what's going on with Judge Whitaker, if she's gonna be in court. Well, let me take that back. I know for a fact that Judge Whitaker is actually in court right now. So we're gonna wait and see what happens with Judge Whitaker, if she's gonna let the media in there. As far as I know, the media is still in the media room. They haven't been allowed in court yet. We heard yesterday that there were some plea deals, negotiations going back and forth. So we're going to see what happens with that. And if we don't get to trial, and if we don't have court today, I've got another recap that we can do, or a rewind we can do, because there was one day where Leah Abbasi was doing some cross-examination. She got cut off at lunch. And then of course we didn't finish reviewing that cross-examination. So we got a little bit more we can go over and cover there. But we're going to go ahead and get into it here in a second. Before I do, if y'all could, make sure you like the video on your way in. Likes are free, and it really is the #1 way you can support this channel. So if y'all could take a second, like the video, not only does it help the channel continue to grow, but it lets the YouTube algorithm know that you're enjoying the show, and it shares the video with more people. Y'all know recently, over the weekend, we just hit 70,000 subscribers, and we'll probably be at 71,000 subscribers by the end of the day. So thank you again to everybody who's helping the channel continue to grow. I'm glad y'all are enjoying the content. We've been going crazy with this YSL covers for the past 3-4 months, and it's been absolutely insane. So thank y'all for the love. I know we had a couple of super chats come in as well, so I need to make sure that I read those. Shout out to Hot Flush Summer in the building, became a new member. Appreciate you. My dog Randall King is in the building. He said, good morning, classy family. Good to see you in here, Randall King. Hold on, I'm checking to make sure I didn't miss a report here. Okay, we're good. We're good. And then we had Annette Rogers is in the building as well. Just became a new subscriber. I appreciate you. Also, for some reason, Rice Street gifted 20 memberships, and it's not showing up on my side. I see this one, Rice Street, but for some reason, YouTube got rid of your other one, which is lame. But shout out to Rice Street for gifting the 20 memberships. If you got a membership from Rice Street, make sure you say thank you on your way in and show Rice Street some love. Shout out to Mark in here, says, let's have a compilation. Let's have a compilation of prosecution witnesses saying inadmissible things. That is 4 hours worth of content. You are absolutely right, Mark, for sure. You're absolutely right for sure. And I was going to save this until later, but I do have a new sound effect that I'm debuting for y'all today.
It's obvious that you were involved maybe in that crime.
All right. Shout out to the amazing witness that was on the stand and said you are obviously maybe involved in that crime. Now I know it's only in one ear. I got to fix that, but we'll get it right. All right. Shout out to Mark in here. We've got Minnie Perkins in the building. It says grand rising to all. Good morning, Classy Beats. Hope okay, I think you meant to say hope you have a peaceful and blessed day. Your content is awesome. Thank you so much. And I see y'all saying congratulations for 70K. We've been putting in the work, staying as consistent as possible, and y'all have been here supporting consistently as well. Thank you to everybody who's subscribing too. Goodness gracious, y'all, the subscribers are coming in. Super. We got Lavisa in here as well. Shout out to Lavisa. with the 2 bombs. She says, thank you and Amy for the coverage. Thank you for the support, and shout out to Amy for putting in the work as well. I appreciate y'all. Shout out to Mark. He says 71K. Yeah, I think we'll hit it at some point today. Let me see. Who else did I miss in here? And then Ashcast says, regardless of the outcome in the trial, ClassE, you've been the most accurate and most informed of all the podcasters throughout the entire trial. You're the GOAT. Thank you so much, Ashcast. I appreciate you supporting. Wow, I gotta sneeze. Thank you. I definitely try to be the most consistent, and it means a lot that y'all are here to support. It means that a lot that y'all are continuing to show up, subscribe, support, hit the like video, and a ton of y'all go the extra mile and are dropping super chats as well. So thank you so much. Rice Street is reminding you though, don't gas me up, because Rice Street saying I'm about to get caught up. Rice Street has been working on this indictment for as long as they've been on the channel, and I don't think anything's gonna happen. Shout out to Diddy's Baby Oil. Congratulations, ClassE Beat. Diddy is the greatest rapper alive, not Lil Wayne. Wow. Yes, Diddy is the greatest rapper when it comes to baby oil. So you're right about that. Shout out to Diddy. Nick is in here, dropped the 5 bomb. Thank you, Nick. Says, good morning, everyone. Keep up the good work on this trial. I love the channel. Look at y'all showing so much love, man. Thank you, Nick. I appreciate that. That means a lot. You did not have to do that. Shout out to D. Andrew. Says, hey, ClassE, what is the name of your intro song? It's uplifting and makes the day start on a good note. That's exactly why we do it. If y'all want to know the name of the song, the title of the song is Good Morning, and it is by my guy, the Bishop. Y'all show him some love. And you know what? I will, of course, the amazing, awesome Amy already dropped the link for y'all in the chat, but I will pin this link in the comment from now on, in the description from now on. So if y'all want to know where to find the intro song, you can find it there. Shout out to the Bishop for always getting us started on the right note. All right, I'm going to read a couple more comments. I'll double check and see if court has started yet. I'm not seeing anything yet, so it looks like we're good. And then we may get to some rewind and review some of the court proceedings from last week, because there are a couple of things we missed. Michi's in here. Oh my gosh, with big aspirations. He says 100K subscribers by Christmas. Oh man. And listen, I think that would be amazing. I think with me, one of the things I do is I just try and focus on the journey, you know, focus on the process rather than the results. If we get there by Christmas, that would be amazing. If we don't get there until next Christmas, I think that would be fine too. At the beginning of this year, I had a goal, and my goal at the end of 2024 was to reach 20,000 subscribers. Well, little did I know we were going to reach that in maybe about a month. And then now, as y'all see, we're at 70,000, about to hit 71,000 subscribers. So subscribers don't mean everything, but to see the love and support that y'all show in the community, I think that's really what matters to me. Being consistent, showing up every day, giving you guys some great content, and having these amazing interactions. So thank y'all for making that possible. And shout out to Michi for the love. And I appreciate it. We're gonna keep working. We're gonna keep working. James Rittenberry, excuse me, says, we need to see more videos of Hilton running out of court to call Fandy. If y'all want to go back to that day, that would be fun. We're actually going to review some coverage from, what was it? Was it Thursday or Friday? I get it mixed up. The 23rd would have been Wednesday, actually, was when everything went down. Can y'all believe it's been since Wednesday? Oh my gosh. Absolutely insane. Let me see. What else do we have in here? I'm going to read a couple more comments, and then we'll go ahead and do a little bit of a rewind and go back to last week and cover some of the cross-examination that we missed last week, because y'all know lately I've been getting out of here before lunch or at lunchtime. Rice Street said, ClassE gonna need that 100K because commissary ain't cheap. Y'all see it, Rice Street? My own moderators be threatening me up in here. That's all right. I love Rice Street. Never gonna visit though. I appreciate you. Ashcat says, free Jeffrey, man. He's innocent. Probation for the gun charges and time served. I'm calling it. Ooh, okay. Interesting. What do y'all think? And let me know in the chat. If this isn't a question we've asked, if Young Thug were to take a plea deal, now y'all be reasonable. I know I said it several times. I said it would have to be time served, no felony. And that's it. Be reasonable. Y'all type in the chat if you're Fannie Willis, what are you offering, if anything, Young Thug? This is one I have not heard before. And I think it's kind of reasonable. To be honest, Ashcast says, free Jeffrey, man. He's innocent. Probation for the gun charges and time served. I'm calling it. Probation. I mean, if he gets probation, you know what that means. Mark says, ClassE, he needs no felony, no Class A misdemeanor. Now, what are the implications of a Class A misdemeanor? I'm going to look into that, and then I'm going to read some more of y'all's comments. Let's see. Because I really want to lay out what exactly some of these things would look like if Young Thug were to take that type of deal. Give me 1 second. All right, here we go. And I'm sure Mark could explain it very well, because Mark, as y'all know, is very knowledgeable about the legal system. We'll get to that in a second. F-Bomb says nothing till after November 5th. Okay. Sombirdie McNair says time served, no felony. They have no proof. That is very true. Wasn't Jeffrey only charged with the RICO on the indictment, or am I crazy? Oh, there were a couple other charges as well. So I think that's probably one of the main reasons it's going to be hard to get a fair plea deal, because there are a lot of drugs and a lot of guns. JB Brown says, if you don't know what a doo-wop is, you've never been on the inside. Oh man. Right Street said he can't afford a felony. Some countries won't let you into their borders. I agree. Time served, no probation. No probation. Okay. No deal with Fandy, says Sean P. Dang, he's strong arming them over there. Oh my gosh. F-Bomb says Class A or Class E. You know what's up. Oh man. And Nicolas said he said something on the page last night. Look, okay. And then Denise says no plea deal. He is ready to tour and make music big. Jeff won't settle. No deal. Nicole says nothing because I want him more than. Hey, yo. Yo, somebody get Nicole some help. Dang, Nicole. Hey, do your thing. Lisa Paxton says she should offer her apologies, but she's too arrogant for that. No felony, charges dismissed, in my opinion. Oh man, y'all got to be reasonable. This is Fannie T. Willis we're talking about. If you think that she's gonna go with no charges, I don't know. You got to think as if you're all that love you have for Young Thug, just put it to the side for a second. If you're Fannie Willis, what are you going to offer to Brian Steele that they might possibly take? I don't know. Is he going to do 10,000 hours of community service? Maybe 5 years probation, time served? Y'all got to give me something, because there is no way in the world that she's going to go easy on him. Miss Pineapple is in here, says, I have a clean record. I wouldn't be taking no plea deal that gives me a record at all. Same here. I'm going to go trial till the end. I'll take a guilty if it's a given by a jury of my peers, not by the prosecution. Yeah, and I mean, they could always appeal, and they have a great case for an appeal as well. Mark H is in here, says, Class A has a time over 1 year and 1 day, which is a restriction on gun ownership. And in some states, voting and licensing. Okay, appreciate you, Mark. And then also shout out to Michelle in the building. Dropped the 5 bomb, says good morning, classy beats in chat. Appreciate you being here. And thank you for the super chat, Michelle. What does Miss K444 say? If I'm Fanny, I'm offering anything to stop this train wreck. I hear you. Hilton and Love really screwed this one up good. That is the understatement of the year for sure. Let me see what's going on with this Class A misdemeanor though. Let's do a little research and figure out what that actually would look like. So a Class A misdemeanor is a type of criminal offense that's more serious than other misdemeanors, but less severe than a felony. In states that use this classification, a Class A misdemeanor is often the highest level of misdemeanor you can be charged with. Examples include theft, small amounts of property, certain types of assault, or driving under the influence. Well, I don't know if, I mean, we'd have to see the other instances where a Class A misdemeanor would be covered in this case, but let's keep going. If you're charged with a Class A misdemeanor, here's what it means. 1, you get potential jail time. Obviously, Young Thug doesn't want to spend any more time in jail, so he might be able to get time served there, right? Fines. You may have to pay a fine, which could be up to several $1,000s depending on the state. I mean, he's not worried about that. Criminal record. If convicted, it would go on your criminal record, which can impact things like job applications, fine, housing opportunities, and certain professional licenses. Probation or community service. Here we go. Often, instead of jail time, people receive probation where they have to check in with the probation officer and follow specific conditions. Community service is also common. I could see maybe that happening. Other consequences. A conviction may lead to other restrictions like losing certain civil rights temporarily, okay, such as the right to carry a firearm. Mark mentioned that in the chat, or difficulties in certain licensed professions. So it's a serious charge that can have long-term impacts, but it's not as severe as a felony. Okay, so Mark might be onto something there. I mean, having a criminal record, is that really going to be terrible? I mean, possibly. I think what you would have to look at is, depending on what the Class A misdemeanor is, what offense after you're found guilty of a Class A misdemeanor can you be charged with that would then lead to a felony? Because a lot of you may or may not know. Let's say shoplifting, for example, right? Shoplifting in Fulton County specifically is not a felony, but if you shoplift a certain amount of times, or if you shoplift a certain amount, then that shoplifting can be upgraded to a felony. So let's say the limit for shoplifting here is $1,000, right? When it comes to you being charged with the misdemeanor. But if you shoplift and you get charged, or you get found guilty of shoplifting 5 times and you shoplifted $200 each time, then that would lead to a felony, right? And that's just an example. Those aren't the exact numbers. So the only thing I would be interested from that is if he's charged or found guilty of this Class A misdemeanor, then what are the other instances where he could maybe be putting himself at risk of catching a felony? Because, I mean, let's be real. Young Thug, he's not an angel, okay? He's not guilty of a RICO, but he was out there doing some things he's not supposed to do. So if they know that you have this Class A misdemeanor, are they going to be watching you for drugs? Are they going to be watching you for other gun charges? Young Thug's probably not going to feel any more safe on the streets than he did before he left. So even with the misdemeanor, there's still a lot of ways that a misdemeanor could affect your life. Shout out to Justin in the building. He said, found your channel a few months ago looking for info on the trial. Big fan of your content and your overall approach. Thank you. Next up, Lil Durk case. Congratulations on 70K. Thank you so much, Justin. Yeah, we're going to cover Lil Durk for sure. I'm going to be honest, y'all. Y'all see a lot of these rappers, I mean, even guys in Chicago, they really aren't about this life. And I don't think Lil Durk, there's going to be much there, especially with it being a federal case. There's not going to be too much that we can cover. So we can maybe talk about what the indictment looked like, a story behind what actually happened, and then go from there. But yeah, we'll be talking about it for sure. Shout out to Amy. She says, Class A misdemeanor, also known as a gross misdemeanor, is a serious criminal offense that can result in up to 1 year in jail and a fine of up to $3,000. A convicted defendant must serve at least 6 months in prison. So he would get time served there, I think, for sure. But even a misdemeanor seems kind of, especially a Class A, seems kind of risky. Mark H says Thug would have application in his life by insurance on his shows. So, okay, so you're saying how this charge would impact his life is by the insurance on his shows and productions like movies, if he does any. I got you. I see what you're saying there, Mark, for sure. What else do we have in here? Kick and Wing says in Georgia, theft or damage to property under 500 is a misdemeanor and over is a felony. Yep, exactly. I thought it was are you sure? I thought it was 1,000, but I could be wrong. In Indiana, a Class A is max 1 year in jail, $5,000 fine. Can be upgraded to a felony though. I wonder in what instance would a Class A be upgraded to a felony? I guess if there, again, that's what I'm saying. If there's multiple, then it's possible. Yeah, shout out to Belfast says just being on probation is no. Yeah, probation is tough. And Thug does not want to be a felon, that's for sure. Let me see what else y'all are saying in here, and then I'm still checking to see if we have live coverage yet. Nobody is live yet, and I haven't seen any updates saying if we're going to go live or what time. So I will keep y'all posted. So just hang in there. Shout out to, what did D Douglas say? I saw your comment. Says also, if he has a felony in him, he won't be able to leave the country. No passport with felonies. Yeah, I think there are some instances where you might be able to, but again, don't quote me on that. I'm not a lawyer. Chef Russ Carter is in the building. He says, good morning, Classy Beats and all the chats. Congratulations on 70K. Thank you, sir. Keep up the great content indeed. Hey, y'all are a big part of that. So thank y'all for being here and making it possible. Shout out to Rick Stevens. Oh man, my guy. He says no court today. Currently drinking a pumpkin spice latte with Whitaker at Starbucks. I'm kind of jealous. I'm not gonna lie. Not that you're with Judge Whitaker. I'm jealous about the pumpkin spice. Enjoy that. Zulu Entertainment says if he gets a Class A misdemeanor, you should give him some classy beats to keep him working to stay out of trouble. Oh man, yeah, I'd be happy to work with Young Thug. I've got some stuff that I think he would like. Sean P says Whitaker needs to be recused. This is pathetic. She's trying to cover ish up. And she said that too. Didn't she say she's trying to clean up the state's mess? Oh, that one is not gonna age well. Okay, so Amy says, okay, they're doing it again with changing the times. Now it's 11 a.m. Oh my gosh.
And so what we have ultimately
Another
is
one.
that there is no evidence, none.
GT in the building says Thug don't need no probation or charges hanging over him because they're going to keep targeting him. This is what I was talking about, and trying to pull him back in for every little thing. He needs to leave Atlanta. That is not going to happen. But I also think what's not going to happen is Young Thug's going to take a plea deal. I don't see that happening either. Did Law and Crime move back their time, or you're just saying they moved back the court time, Amy? Let me double check and see. Oh man, we got a lot of updates. Let's see. Yep, shout out to Izzy over on X. Says travel would be impacted, especially overseas. Yep, I agree. I agree, Izzy. Mark H also says, Classy Beats, just imagine if the probation office conditions his freedom on not being around felons. That is too restrictive in the music business. Yeah, probation is just, it's such a trap. And think of, again, I keep going back to the worst case scenario. Monk Tunk's probation is absolutely terrible. That man's going to be on probation for 22 years. And then he's going to be in jail for God knows how long. He's going to have to get out and get back on his feet again. I mean, think of what that would be like. Tom Bernie McNair says you can have a passport, but he won't be able to get a work permit to tour in certain countries. Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. A Class A misdemeanor is only 1 year period. Even with probation, can only last a year. Okay. And then Randall says, what's the reason the media all of a sudden can't be in the courtroom? Most of it is because they've been working on these plea deals back and forth. So yesterday we heard reported that Judge Whitaker was meeting in her chambers with some of the defense, some of the prosecution, possibly Fannie Willis. That hasn't been verified yet. So there's really no need for the media to be there because they can't hear and see those proceedings. So everything that took place back in Judge Whitaker's office. So not really much to see there, unfortunately. Let's see. What is Amy? It looks like Amy has some more insight in here as well. James Rittenberry says, ClassE, you can have a passport being a felon, just limited to what countries you can visit. Yeah, exactly. That's what I was thinking. Amy says, what I do know is that Jeff needs to be released immediately. From day one, they have shown absolutely no evidence of him.
So what we have ultimately is that there is no evidence, none,
committing any crime. Any crime that has occurred has been done by other individuals on their own. Jeff made it out the hood and tried to get his friends out as well, but they all repeatedly did dumb-ish. They clearly couldn't leave the street life alone. Yeah, and I mean, Young Thug was showing them the path. You even had Woody who said, man, I saw this life Young Thug was living, and I just realized the stuff I was doing in the street wasn't for me. So I started to turn things around, and then I got caught up in this case, and then Young Thug put out Halftime, and that kind of messed things up. And then we had the whole thing that happened with Big Nut. But I mean, he was showing them the path and giving them opportunities. That is for sure. Shannon Thornton's in here, says Judge Whitaker made the most grievous mistake by admitting she was cleaning up for the state. I told the whole world she is in an arm of the prosecution. Yeah, I didn't like that either. I get what she was saying, but that really, it was not delivered well. I'm gonna read a couple more comments and then we'll get into reviewing some of the coverage from last Wednesday. Nicolas says, why do you keep talking about a Class A? He had a machine gun change as well, guys. Yeah, the guns are going to be an issue for sure. Stephen Aubrey is in here, says, sentence usually depends on the situation. Your probation gets dropped and you could get time instead unless he signed a one that still keeps him on probation after taking the time of violation of probation. Still, I mean, that probation would have to be extremely detailed for me to even consider it because it's just so much that could go wrong. I mean, you could get pulled over and you could have a little over an ounce of weed. Maybe it's a misdemeanor, but if you combine that with your Class A, then you could have issues there. I just know there's a lot of things still in the law that I don't understand, that when you have a certain amount of misdemeanors or a certain type of misdemeanor, it can then result in or lead to a felony. So that's just something you have to be careful about. Mel M is in here, says his gun was obtained improperly. Steele said something about it. Yeah, and that's tough too. Shout out to Heather Dalton in the building, says, good morning. Can Young Thug come back with a lawsuit against Fulton County if he is found innocent? Yeah, I think he can. From what I understand, he can come back with a lawsuit regardless. But yeah, definitely if he's found innocent. Just got in. Shout out to Jen. On break from work, so I'm officially replay while you're still live. Rumor I heard Judge Whitaker recused herself. What? Can't remember where I saw it, but it was in someone's comments. Yeah, this is why I don't like rumors. That is the craziest. That's almost as crazy as I would be shocked. I appreciate the insight there, Janet. Thanks for stopping by, but there is no way. I mean, you see what it took for Glanville to recuse himself after he had an improper ex parte meeting. Brian Steele had to go to the Supreme Court and say, hey, can y'all come down here to Fulton County and tell this judge that he can't keep deciding if he's going to stay on this trial or not? So, yeah, I don't know about that one. Shelby says, wow, love your channel. Thank you, Shelby. Thanks for being here. Chef Russ Carter, they could keep that probation BS. No way. That's for the birds, and Whitaker needs to be put on probation ASAP. Dang, y'all going after just Whitaker now? I won't allow it. I think she's just misunderstood. All right, y'all stop. I'm gonna protect Judge Whitaker over here. Y'all give her a break. She's just trying to do her job. All right, let's go ahead and get into this coverage from Wednesday. Now, y'all were cooking this gentleman right here. Y'all were saying Santa Claus was getting barbecued last week on Wednesday, and we didn't get to finish Leah Abbasi's cross-examination of him. And we also get some cross-examination from some of the defense attorneys as well. So y'all check this out. We're going to do a little bit of a rewind, and I'll see if I can find out any more insight about what's going on in today's YSL coverage. Here we go. I'll make sure the sound is good for you too. Let's make sure. Y'all let me know how everything sounds if you could, please. Yeah, Judge Whitaker's not going anywhere. I mean, and if they fire Judge Whitaker, I mean, who's going to take her place? Y'all want Judge Rachel Krause to take her place, the one who said Glanville was doing a fine job in the YSL trial?
What were the warrants you took out for Mr. Ryan?
For murder.
The only person who ever gave you any indication that Mr. Ryan knew Mitchell, Mr. Uten, the victim, anyone in the car, was Mariah. She's the only person who said they knew one another, right?
You confused me a little bit. Say that again. Say it again.
The only person who said that Mr. Ryan knew Mr. Uten, the victim, Mr. Holmes, Mr. Mitchell, only person who said they knew each other was Mariah, correct?
I don't recall that.
Did you
Of course you
look at
don't
your
recall.
interview?
Well, I'll be honest with you, I did, but I forgot what you asked me for to be looking for in there.
Okay.
Maybe it's a question. Ask me each person at a time. So, Mariah, you're saying Mariah said she knew Mitchell.
Mariah told you, was the only Mariah indicated, whether through this or something else, Mr. Ryan had some contact, knew the existence of Mr. Uten, Mr. Mitchell, Mr. Holmes, right? You never went to any of them and said, hey, do you know this guy?
No.
Okay. And they never,
Fulton
gave you
County
any
did not
names
do their job.
saying, I think it was this person, or I have a problem with this, nothing.
They who?
Mr. Mitchell and Mr. Uten.
They said they did not know who shot at them.
Had no idea.
That's correct.
And didn't ask them if they, had any problems with Mr. Ryan or Mr. Blaylock, right?
Yeah, they said, they're correct, yeah.
Okay. And Mariah, she never told you anything about being locked in a basement, did she?
I don't recall that, no.
Okay. And she didn't tell you anything about Mr. Blaylock attacking her, did she?
Other than when Mr. Blaylock. Oh, no.
Okay.
No, not that I remember.
All right. And so based on the evidence you had, the person who fired the 762 was tall, right?
He was described as being tall, I believe. Just
All
a
right.
second. Let me double check it. What it said.
Check your notes there. Yeah, tomorrow it's not looking great. Not looking great at all.
And I can get you a transcript of your interview with Mr. Uten if that further helps too.
I bet you can. Let me see.
Yeah, Leah did a great job.
Yes.
Okay. So Mr. 762 is tall, and based on all of that evidence, was your conclusion that Mr. Blaylock was the one with the 762, right? Page 18?
Page 18. Of what? Which one am I looking at?
Your report.
Well, if you got a page 18, you're doing better than me. I got 17 pages.
Oh.
Said he was
Okay,
missing
wow.
a page.
You got more than me.
Just answer the question, Santa. Thank you, Gerard.
Okay, I see what you're referring to, yes.
Yep. So final conclusion you came to based on everything you reviewed was that Mr. Blaylock had the rifle.
That's what I wrote, yes.
Gotcha. All right, so we have rifle rounds, and then we have all these other casings from a smaller gun, from a 9mm, correct?
Yes.
All right. And those casings were found very, very close to the vehicle where the victim was, correct?
There were casings on top of the car, yes.
Okay. And casings on top of the car, you don't know how they got there, did you? Or do you?
I didn't see them be placed there or fall there, no.
Okay. Did you speak to the EMS, the emergency services people who would have been there responding?
They were gone when I got there.
Okay. So you're not sure whether they had to move anything to get to Mr. Holmes?
It was obvious that the hat we found on top of the car was placed there by someone.
Right.
I don't know who. But I guess it's plausible that somebody would say, hey, there's a shell casing, let's put it on top of the car.
Yeah. So they wouldn't want to lose it.
Don't know why they do that, but yeah.
Okay.
What's up, boss?
So you discussed with Mr. Mitchell and Mr. Uten whether they had guns, correct?
Yes.
They both had guns, right?
Yes.
And you never asked them if they shot, did you?
Mitchell said his gun was empty.
Okay.
Uten, I don't recall ever asking that specific question.
Right. You didn't ask him what kind of a gun he had, right?
I don't recall
Okay.
asking him.
You asked him what happened to it, though, later, right?
Yes.
And he indicated to you that you should...
All of this is hearsay.
It's not hearsay. He was there.
Indicated whoever.
Sustained.
Okay.
How is that hearsay?
Did you have an occasion
Confusing.
to either you yourself or have somebody go looking in the woods for a firearm?
Wasn't me, but yes.
Okay. And beyond that, you did not have any follow-up to tracking down those guns, right?
That's correct.
All right. And your reason for that, you previously
Shout out to
testified, was
MC.
you had no reason to, right?
I had no further leads. Once we tried to find them and couldn't, based on where they said they put them,
Okay.
there was nowhere else to go.
So you had no reason to try and find out whether Mr. Uten was the one who fired all those 9mm.
Say that again?
So you had no reason to try and figure out if Mr. Uten is the person who fired all those 9mm.
Right, I didn't
Okay.
try.
Thanks for doing your job, detective.
Because if he
officer.
did, that would be your second shooter, right?
Your Honor, objection calls for speculation.
Sustained.
You, at some point, had an occasion to review Mr. Mitchell's Instagram records, correct?
Again, I'm not a computer guy.
Far later.
I allow other people on the team examine those. I trust them in what they can do because it's their, a teenager is better than me on that stuff.
Yep.
A
So I-
teenager. My God.
Looked at the report or what was given to me, did not do a deep dive, no ma'am.
No. No deep dive. You didn't look at them.
Say it again?
No deep dive. I mean, you did not look at them, right?
I don't recall if I did, yeah.
Okay. So you never did any follow-up with Mr. Mitchell about him shooting back, did you?
No.
But you learned that at some point he said he did, right? Or they did.
Yes, I did hear that, yes.
Thank you, Detective.
Oh, you're welcome. You didn't get this stuff back?
No deep
Are
dive,
there
just a shallow dive, yeah.
other defense counsel with questions for this witness?
Good
morning, Detective Hogan.
Just take the time. Good morning. Good morning.
We've met before, but my name's Max Shard. I represent Shannon Stillwell, okay?
Okay.
All right, and the case that we're talking today does not involve Shannon Stillwell at all, does it?
Not that I know of, no.
Okay. I just wanted to ask you one question. On Cross, you were asked about testing a car, the inside of a car for gunshot residue.
Right, yeah.
And you responded that it would not make any sense to do so unless a gun was shot from that car, correct?
Oh yeah, this was
That would
good.
be
I
the
remember this.
most obvious reason to do so, yes.
Okay,
The test
so
for that.
if a gun is shot from inside a car, if your investigation leads you to believe that a gun was shot from inside a car, you certainly would test for gunshot residue, correct?
If there was any question that a gun was used inside the car, so if there was an allegation that it was, and
Yep.
then there was reason to believe that it wasn't, we needed to prove that a gun was used in the car, then certainly we should process the inside of the car for gunshot residue.
Okay, when you say process inside the car for gunshot residue, what does that mean?
Well, we asked the ID unit. I've watched them do it several times. They have a Q-tip, and they swab areas, and they preserve that Q-tip, which gets sent to the GPI crime lab. And then they do their analysis, their whiz-bang stuff over there to say if there's any presence of gunpowder, I guess is what it is.
And we're talking about microscopic particles,
Yeah,
right?
if you shoot a weapon anywhere, if somebody shot in here, the residue would be however tiny, microscopic.
Thank you,
But it
Dan.
would be here on everybody, everywhere.
It would go all over.
Yeah, it goes everywhere.
Okay, and you would have
They didn't do
you would
their job
ask
again.
the collection team, we'll say, to the crime scene technicians, I guess is the formal term, correct?
Yes.
You would ask them to collect from the different areas within the car.
That's correct.
Are there any specific areas that you would have them focus on?
I generally let them do their job. They know more about that stuff than me. I ask them to process it and I allow them to do it.
Okay.
So wherever areas they are. Another, the GBI has been a little more stringent on their testing of that. They're getting away from gunshot residue because of the fact it goes everywhere. It doesn't really prove anything.
Okay, so the concern when they're going away from it is not that it gives false negatives, but it gives false positives.
Right. So, for example, if you're a gunshot victim, and you're obviously a gunshot victim, guys that in the past I know have tried to test them for gunshot residue. Well, that's kind of silly because they are a gunshot victim. They're going to have gunshot residue on them. Also, the fact that if they're
unless the gunshot victim was also firing a gun. I think we talked about this last week, but I'll
in a
let him
room
go.
such as this or other people, and somebody shoots, and then that person gets away, but somebody else is alleged to be the shooter.
So
well,
you can't be the
if he was
shooter
in
if
the
you get
same
shot,
room, he's
y'all.
going to have
Make
gunshot
sure you remember
residue
that.
on him as well because it goes everywhere.
So it sounds like what you're saying, if you get a positive result from gunshot residue, it may be unreliable for proving what you're intending it to prove.
You don't necessarily have to be the shooter if you were in the room when the shot went off.
But if you get it, but from what I'm understanding, if you get a negative, that's still a reliable result. It's just the positives can mean different things.
Yes.
All right. Great. And in your experience at times, you said you defer to the experts on the collection method. Have you known them to remove different parts of a car for further testing for gunshot residue?
Yes. Oh.
Sustained.
I can approach it. It is going to be relevant.
All right, I'll give you some.
And I'm just going to ask one more question. Is
Okay.
one of those parts that the experts remove at times the headliner of the car?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you. No further questions.
You're welcome.
Any other defense? Go ahead.
Good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Steele.
How are you?
I'm great. Thank you.
I'd like to ask you, in your work, have you ever had the need or the opportunity to ask for and secure surveillance cameras from businesses?
Several occasions, yes.
Okay. Can you tell the ladies and gentlemen jury, in your experience, have you ever had a surveillance camera operation where
That's where Brian Steele asked
it would be a
about the,
specific period of time
McDonald's.
that was captured? The images were captured by the surveillance camera.
Sure. Every system's different. There are some, from my experience, some common denominators. Most surveillance systems capture a certain period of time that's generally around 2 weeks. And after those 2 weeks time period, it stops. You can kind of imagine that you're shoving the video into a tube, and as it comes out, there's just so much space to capture and to maintain. So as you capture more video, it starts falling off the backside after 2 weeks. So for example, if 3 weeks ago there was a crime that we became aware of, and we needed to try to get the video, we call if it's past that 2 week time period, the video is no longer accessible. It's been deleted. It's been overwritten and it's gone.
So in your example about the 3 weeks, so a video can hold up to 2 weeks of information is what you're telling the jurors in our example.
It's kind of a general rule, Brian. But there are systems that capture and they keep them for longer periods of time, but those are expensive to maintain, and that's pretty rare that we have, but they're out there.
So if, just hypothetically, if we start on day one and the surveillance equipment can hold 2 weeks, so on day 14, from day 1 to day 14, it's all there if it's all working correctly. That's what I hear you say.
Yes.
I'm going to object to relevance.
It goes back.
Overruled.
Now, on day 15, so day 14 ends, now it's day 15. Are you telling the jury that in your experience, day 1 is now gone, so now we'd have from day 2 to day 15?
That's my experience, yes.
Okay. Have you ever, tell the ladies and gentlemen jury, on day 15, So day 15 starts. All day 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 are gone.
Without a catastrophic failure of the system, I have never heard of that. No.
Thank you. Thank you, Your Honor.
I'm surprised they let Brian
Anybody
still do
else?
that, but it was smart. I like it.
All right, redirect.
Detective Hogan, do you recall Ms. Abbasi asking you about your interview with Ms. Smith and how she, I guess, about how she described the long gun? You remember her asking you about that?
Yes.
Do you remember her specifically asking you about the use of the term rifle?
Yes.
And do you recall, based on your interview, Miss Smith was only able to describe the gun as a long gun, correct?
Yes, she was not well versed in.
You can answer the question.
She was not well versed in guns. She was using pretty generic terms. Yes.
Yeah, I heard that too.
Now,
Money.
I want to bring your attention to something that Ms. Abbasi just, one of her last questions, she talked to you about how Ms. Smith just kind of described or said how Mr. Ryan or somebody would know any other parties. Remember her asking you about that?
Yes.
And do you remember what Miss Smith's response was, or conversation with you was about how Mr. Ryan knew Mr. Mitchell?
Your Honor, I'm going to object to this. It was not the question. The question was whether anyone besides Ms. Smith described them knowing one another.
I think she opened the door as to how.
Go ahead.
Overruled.
Do you recall?
Of how Miss Smith knew Mr. Mitchell?
No, about how the question that Ms. Abbasi asked you was about how Ms. Smith described to you and talked to you about how Mr. Ryan knew Mr. Mitchell. Do you remember her having that conversation with you?
Where'd you hear that? Just me.
And if looking at a copy of the transcript would help refresh your recollection of your interview with Ms. Smith.
Sure, man.
I want to direct your attention to page 93, where the minute marker is 2:18:21.
And Your Honor, I'm going to object to this at this being hearsay. We're not impeaching her.
What are you going to ask?
What she said. I mean, that counsel opened the doors when she asked the question as it related to the conversation that the detective had with Ms. Smith about how the parties knew each other.
So are you refreshing his recollection as to what she said about it?
That's correct, Judge.
I'm going to permit it.
Your Honor, the question was about whether anyone else described them knowing one another, not what she said, how they knew each other.
All right. I'm going to allow it.
Wow. Amy is saying the fit lawyer ATL is at court, and she said they're using the courtroom to work out plea deals for everyone. What? Including Thug. Just what I heard. IDK. In my opinion, why would Thug take a deal? I'm not buying it. I'm not buying it. I could be wrong, but I'm not buying it. And it looks like, yeah, she just said that over on the lead attorney's YouTube channel. She says, my phone is tripping. I had to set up a passkey. Someone Simone and Adam just came in. They're getting ready to enter plea deals. I'm coming. Y'all, new phone. I need to set up my pass key. She's in the courthouse and said Simone and a body just came in the courtroom ready to enter plea deals. I don't know. We'll see in a minute. A lot of rumors are going around. Shout out to the lead attorney and the fit lawyer ATL and Amy for putting this on game as well. I mean, it should be televised if they do enter the plea deals. Let's see. Let's see. Michi says, Classy Beats, I'm with you. The only way I see Thug taking a deal is to end this whole thing. In my opinion, it would have to be a sweet deal. I mean, the only reason I can see this, I'm wrong about Fannie Willis, and maybe she isn't that prideful after all. She's just willing to take this L. Vicky said, rumor Thug took a deal with the felony that will not interfere with his travel. Now, come on. No way. They can't, the state of Georgia can't control if other countries let you into their country or not. Huh? What? No. They can't say, hey, Canada, you gotta let Thug in. It says right here on this piece of paper, the state of Georgia, who has no federal. Yeah. I appreciate it, Vicky, but no. Yeah, Jim R is correct, obviously. That's not a thing. Shout out to Clifton Buckner says, although I didn't hear Thug's name, I also heard that no media or families in because we can't hear the plea deal arguments anyways, is what I heard, but I can be wrong. Okay, now this sounds more likely. Amy says, allegedly not confirmed, 3 had taken plea deals. Let's see Fulton County election next week. Do Fannie want this over with? No, she doesn't care. Fannie Willis is going to be is going to be skipping into another 4 years. Jim R says, I don't know. You can probably do that to Canada, but a real country. Ow! Come on, Jim. Dang, we got some Canadians in here that show. Kim Palmer says, Steele went through too much to deal. I like that rhyming in the comments. Butter says, Thug should never take a plea. He needs to get back to his art. No deal is sweet. 2 years went by quick. Fight on, Thug. Fight on. I'm not buying it. Maria Long says, I don't see any of them taking a plea deal. I see some. But to say everyone is working on plea deals,
Stop the cap.
I don't see it. I don't see how that would happen. Shout out to Kim Palmer dropping the 5 bomb in here. Thank you so much for that, Kim. I appreciate the super chat. Just showing some love. And shout out to Miss Cruz says, ain't no way she will still be in office. If that is the case, then Atlanta deserves her. I did my part. I did that part, Miss Cruz. We'll see. And D. Douglas says, why would Thug do a plea though? I don't want to believe after all this, Steele is like, we'll take a plea. Georgia plea deals, 2 years time serves, 90 years probation. Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what the plea deal would look like. Somebody's got to pay for Donovan Thomas's murder, and they gave. I'm not gonna say that. I'll let y'all say it. I'm not gonna say that. but they gave certain people immunity that were more involved than Young Thug was. Amber Baker says, I'm wondering if now it will just be Thug and Shannon on trial, which, if I was a juror, would look bad towards the state. Yak, I don't think Yak can go anywhere. There's really not much of a, I can't imagine what a favorable plea deal would look like for Yak either. So him too. Just Me said the lawyers are entering the courtroom now. Amy says if thugs took a plea deal, it's got to be a misdemeanor, or he can't tour internationally. He wouldn't do that to himself. Make it make sense. Howdy girl in here says ClassE, hopefully in their plea deals they can't testify against Jeffrey. Well, that's what I mentioned. I hated to say it and I didn't want to bring it up because y'all know the state's watching and they take a lot of notes from this show. Can they get some of these other defendants to flip and testify? They're all sitting over there having a good time. We named them the Avengers. You got Matthews, you got Adams, you got Shark, you got Weinstein, you got Steele. But at the end of the day, each lawyer's duty is to their client. It's a possibility. I think that's more of a possibility than Young Thug taking a plea deal. Good morning, Michelle. D. Douglas says, I thought someone said they did it. No names, but he's America's favorite. Shout out to Anita Matthews says, Doug, please do not take a plea deal, period. And Whitaker is for the state. Shaking my gosh darn head. If some take a plea deal, that interferes with the overt acts. So all will plea out. Thug wants out. Plea deals only, no jail time and no felony convictions. Shock G, I hear you. But is the DA going to give them that option? I think Fannie has to die on this hill. She's got so much invested. She ran her whole campaign when she got elected was running on cleaning up streets. And she's started with the Young Thug RICO trial. So I don't know. Vicky Andrews is back in here. She said, let me make it clear. It was a rumor I put up there. That's fine, Vicky. You're good. I don't know if it's true or not. I don't want Thug to deal. The case has not been proved in my eyes. It hasn't been proved in anybody's eyes. And as Amy said earlier, the burden of proof is on the state. And they haven't done it. I think it's very clear. 70B said, can you refresh our memory on what Just Thug was charged with? What do you think he would maybe take a plea on? Yeah, I definitely can. I've got a note here somewhere. Give me a second. And I'll find it and remind you. That's not it. TA. Here we go. So to answer your question, Stephanie, I knew I had a note here somewhere. Young Thug faces several serious charges in the YSL indictment, including RICO conspiracy. He is accused of leading the YSL, or Young Slime Life gang, which prosecutors claim was involved in illegal activities like violence and drug trafficking. The charge under the racketeering, or the RICO basically act, means that Young Thug is alleged to have participated in and organized these criminal activities.
Right. And so what we have ultimately is that there is no evidence, none.
Participation in criminal street gang activity. He is charged with actively participating in, I don't know where, promoting the illegal operations of YSL as a gang, which allegedly involved crimes like robbery and murder. Drug and firearm possession, which I think is probably the easiest one to prove, but still doesn't mean he should get a felony. He is accused of possessing illegal drugs and firearms, which are connected to his alleged involvement with YSL's criminal activities. And fourth, murder-related charges. Young Thug is indirectly linked to violent crimes, including a 2015 murder of rival gang member Donovan Thomas Jr., as prosecutors claim that his actions contributed to the gang's criminal influence in Atlanta. These charges are a part of the broader indictment involving many other individuals accused of being involved in YSL's illegal operations. All right. So there's the breakdown for you, Stephanie. And that is a great question. I think we all need to be reminded of that. I'm not hearing anything that's Thug is guilty of, in my opinion. Shout out to the real Nito in here. Says, just a thought. Thug isn't completely innocent. That's true. And ain't no telling what can happen with these other witnesses. But from experience, take a sweet deal. Get home to your family. Holidays are here. Do y'all agree with that? Oh, man. Man. The real Nito is saying something we've talked about before. Sitting in jail ain't fun. What do y'all think? Minnie Perkins agrees that you need to take the deal and get home, whatever you got to do. But we know there was a guy we talked about last week, the week before that, that had that mindset. Do y'all remember what his name was? Could somebody type in the chat the name of the guy who said, hey, you know, I'm just going to take a deal. I want to get home. My mother's sick. I've got things I'm trying to do. I'm tired of sitting in Rice Street. Do y'all remember who that was? And how'd that work out for him? I'm just saying. Yeah, y'all know who it is. Mr. Antonio Sledge. He had that same mindset and he got cooked. And now guess what? World's End said it. He's doing 5 years and he still has 22 years of probation. Oof. Yes, this is from Wednesday, last Wednesday. So I don't know, man. I hear what you're saying. But the deal, it has to make sense. You don't just want to sign something and then get out of jail, because as we've seen before, you might just end up right back in there. And then you got that terrible plea deal hanging over your head. So I don't know. Maria Long says if any take a plea deal, they could possibly have a serious effect on the jurors. The entire case is a mess. Uncle Paul is in here. What's up, Uncle? He says if no plea deal and they are found guilty, this would be overturned anyways, and then plea it out. Yeah, the appeals, this is an easy appeal case. Now, again, I'm not an attorney. I don't, just from what I'm seeing and what I understand about the appeals process, and you already have the Georgia Supreme Court looking at Brian Steele being held in contempt for no reason and saying that shouldn't have happened. I mean, the eyes are already on this case and they know what's going on. So we'll have to wait and see if we get to that point. Jim R said, I mean, these guys have been off the streets for years. Are the streets cleaner? What? No. This whole thing was made up. This whole RICO trial was made up. Amy says the state spent over $2 million of Amy's dollars, my dollars, Mr. Tesla's dollars, Somberty McNair's dollars. I think she's here in Fulton County. Who else is in Fulton County? They spent $2 million of our dollars so far. And y'all think Fannie is going to let them off with a sweet plea deal?
Oh, hell no.
I'm wondering who's about to get sacrificed for the sake of appealing or appeasing the state. Yeah, and I mean, not so much of even appeasing the state, just moving this trial forward. Is somebody going to flip? I mean, oh, man. We have no idea what's going to happen. Peggy's in here. Peggy Bell says, why take a plea? The prosecutors have yet to produce concrete evidence. I agree.
And so what we have ultimately is that there is no evidence. None.
Yeah. Good morning, everyone. Jim R says 15 for RICO, 16 minus 11 minus 131, 25 years. Ooh. Sharice Washington is in here, says, I understand that, But when you know you didn't do anything wrong, why take a deal? I get it that Thug is ready to go home, but no deal. Jurors would give a no guilty verdict for Thug. That's the thing too. You gotta think your fate lies in the jury's hands. So we don't know what could happen between now and when the states rest, or between now and closing arguments. I mean, the jury could start to see some things. They're like, ooh, man, maybe Young Thug, maybe he is guilty of RICO conspiracy. Maybe he is guilty of participation in criminal street gang activity. Maybe he's guilty of drug and firearms possession or murder related charges. He knew, he had to know. I mean, who knows? I can't. That's the only reason I would lean towards a plea, is because I can't trust a jury. It's scary, man. What does Amy say? If the defense is confident and there is no concrete evidence, then why are they entering pleas? I think it would depend on what each individual defendant is facing when it comes to charges. And actually, let me see. I can find the indictment too. I don't think we've ever looked at the full indictment on this channel, and we can finish the rest of this video here in a minute. I'm still checking. There is no live coverage from the courtroom yet, and I haven't seen any updates other than some fun rumors. Law and Crimes looks like they're saying attorneys and defendants have been in the courtroom all morning. No media or public are allowed. Repeat of the last 2 days. I'm hearing rumors about pleas and no pleas, nothing official. Yeah, I mean, we're not going to hear it. Let me see. Here's the full indictment. And we can actually go through this too, so y'all can see, and maybe we can just break down by defendant and see what would make sense. Here we go. So I'm gonna move this here. We'll go through this in a second. Let me read some more of y'all's comments. Shout out to King Kaz in the building with the 5 bomb on the super chat. Says, remember, Georgia has the first offender treatment program. Even if he takes a plea, it'll be dismissed once completed. Interesting. Now, my question would be, what are the stipulations to that first offender treatment program? Let's see if I can find more information about that. Because even with what we talked about with him taking a Class A misdemeanor, are there other things that can happen as a result of that would put him back in the same situation? I know a lot of these guys, and Thug, admittedly so, uses drugs. A lot of these guys, and Thug, admittedly so, has been and is probably going to be in possession of illegal firearms in general. So while these things on their own, and I guess you would say in a vacuum, sound nice, you have to understand the type of life that Young Thug is living and is most likely going to continue to live when he gets out, and the people that he's going to be around. So what all does that entail? As who was it that mentioned earlier? It wasn't Jim, it was Mark. I mean, what if there's something in there that says he can't be around other felons? I mean, he's not going to be in the studio and be able to work with certain people. Let me see if I can find out what this is. What is it called? The first offender. I'm going to find it for y'all and see what this is about and how it works. Thank you for the super chat, King Kaz. I appreciate that. Also, we have syndicated news with the 1 bomb. Thank you so much for that. Just showing some love. Aww. I appreciate you. And again, if y'all could like the video, that would be amazing. Thank you to Amy for reminding y'all to do that. It's free and it does help the channel continue to grow. Let's see. Where's Rice Street at? Steele said all Thug's guns were legally purchased, didn't he? Well, the ones that were illegally purchased, they would have to prove that they belong to the Thug, and I don't think they could do that. Just because they were there doesn't mean that they belong to him. The Real Nito says they already have the sacrifice, and that's Mr. Sledge. No, Mr. Sledge was just an idiot. Let's just be real. He had a terrible lawyer, and he was dumb. I don't know if he was a sacrifice. I think, in my opinion, they sacrifice the person who actually committed. I'm not going to say it. They already have the sacrifice, and that's Mr. Sledge. They're making an example out of him for being the oldest and not showing these kids knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. Yeah, he was definitely an example for sure. Let me see here. Let me see if I can find this. Oh, I said in simple. Let me see here. All right, here we go. And I think I saw Amy was putting it in the chat too. Amy says the Georgia First Offenders Act is a legal option for first-time offenders to avoid a criminal conviction and permanent record. Yeah, you think Fannie's going to be that nice to offer a young thug that? What? The act allows eligible individuals to plead guilty or nolo contendere. I don't know what that means, so I have to look it up. To a charge without facing a misdemeanor conviction. If the defendant successfully completes the term of their sentence, the court will drop the charge and the defendant will be exonerated. Nah. I don't see that happen. Oh, y'all want to see how many counts there are? I'm trying to get this to work, but it is not helping me out for some reason because I want to know the details about this program. Let's try it again. While we're working on that, let's see. What are all of these charges? Conspiracy to violate the RICO Act, murder, armed robbery, aggravated assault with a deadly weapon, possession of a firearm during commission of a felony, possession of a firearm during commission of a felony, theft by receiving stolen property, guns, violation of the Georgia Controlled Substances Act, violation, the same thing, possession of a firearm by a convicted felon, Antonio Sledge, Quindarius Zachary, participation in a criminal street gang activity. Or actually, I take that back. I don't think Quindarius Zachary was a felon. Armed robbery, aggravated assault with a deadly weapon, hijacking a motor vehicle in the first degree, possession of a firearm during commission of a felony, participating in criminal street gang activity, violation of the Georgia Controlled Substances Act, possession of a firearm by a convicted felon, theft by taking, attempted murder, possession of a firearm by a first offender probationer, possession of a firearm during the commission of a felony, participation in criminal street gang activity. We already read that one. Possession of a weapon by an incarcerated individual. What? Jeez. Somebody had a shank. Jeez, man. Possession of a telecommunication device by an incarcerated individual. Well, we know everybody was doing that. Participation in criminal street gang activity. Again, conspiracy to commit a crime, murder. Possession of a firearm by a convicted felon previously convicted of a felony involving the use of a possession of a firearm. Sheesh, we know that's Antonio Sledge right there. Same thing, possession of a firearm during the commission of a felony, conspiracy to commit a crime, And number 56, participation in criminal street gang activity. Yikes. Here we go. The Georgia First Offenders Treatment Program is a legal option for individuals who are charged with certain non-violent crimes for the first time. Hold on a second. Eligibility. Designed for first-time offenders charged with specific non-violent offenses. Drug possession, theft. So you think she's just gonna let Donovan Thomas's murder go? Nope. Number 2, deferred sentencing. If eligible, the court may defer the sentencing, meaning the individual won't be convicted if they successfully complete the program. Well, what's the program? Participants usually have to meet certain criteria or certain conditions, such as completing a treatment program, substance abuse counseling, okay, attending regular meetings, performing community service, staying out of legal trouble during the program. Yeah, this program's a trap. This program's a trap. The outcome. If the individual successfully completes all the requirements, the charge may be dismissed and they can apply to have their record sealed or expunged. This means it won't show up on a criminal background check. The goal of the program is to help individuals avoid a criminal record and provide support and resources for rehabilitation, ultimately reducing and promoting positive life changes. Yeah.
Stop the cap.
Yeah, no. Marcus in here says Thug is only charged with RICO and gang charges 1 and 56. Thug needs to be set free. Dropped charges. All right, let's go through this and see what's going on in this indictment. Have y'all seen this indictment yet? Can you type a 1 in the chat if you've seen this full indictment? Can you type a 2 in the chat if you haven't seen it? Oh, that's a great question, Kim. How many have successfully completed this program? I want to find that out. Let me see if I can find that out. How many? That's a great question. Oh, most of y'all haven't seen it. I see a couple of you have. And I want to see how many have been through it. Let's see. We're going to find out. So 2, 2, 2, 2. I see 5 1s, 6 1s. Most of y'all are saying 2. Okay, some of you have seen it. Mr. Brown said never saw it. Rice Street said so got Thug on acts 1 and 56 only. Now 2. Most of y'all haven't seen it. Law and Order NYC, appreciate you being here, says I read it when the trial started. Yeah, we weren't here. I wasn't covering this when the trial started, so I haven't done this on this channel. But you're saying obviously Rico, they got him on that, and then they got him on 56, obviously, which was participation in criminal street gang activity. I think there's another one in here that they would have got him on. Oh, theft by receiving. That's what I was thinking of. Yeah, I think they could probably, I don't know if they did or not. Yeah, they probably got Young Thug on theft by receiving stolen property, because any of the guns that were in his house that didn't belong to him or weren't legally acquired by him, I think they got him on, what is that, 8 and 13 as well. And there was another one. Georgia Controlled Substances Act. I think they got him on that one too. Yeah, so there's a few in there. Shout out to Spencer Ross is in here with the 5-bomb, says, I think Fannie should have not been involved with this. Didn't she have a relationship with Nut, aka Donovan Thomas? And then Mark says, look at his name at the left. It shows the counts 1 and 56 only. Oh, okay, I got you. So where is Mr. Jeffrey Williams? I'm going to pass it, so y'all just yell at me in the chat. Antonio Sledge, 1 and 30. Jeffrey Williams, 1 and 56. All right, so shout out to y'all for being observant. So they only got him on participating in criminal street gang activity. And number 1, as we know, is violating the RICO Act.
Right. And so what we have ultimately is that there is no evidence, none.
Amy says, as of right now, the media is in the media room. And Doug Weinstein posted on TikTok about an hour ago for prayers for a favorable outcome and letting people know that he does not have an update. Yeah, I saw that. He said, Doug Weinstein basically said the update is there's no update. Also, shout out to Amy for the 5 memberships. If you got a membership from Amy, make sure you say thank you. Amazing. So, answering the question, I think it was it Kimberly that asked about how many that have went into the program? It's tough to say, but let's see what we have here. Specific statistics regarding the number of people who have successfully completed, started, or failed Georgia's first offender treatment program are not widely published or readily available. However, here are some relevant insights. Completion rates. In related programs managed by the Georgia Department of Corrections, such as reentry services, there were about 50,000 enrollments and 33,000 completions in the fiscal year 2022, suggesting a successful completion rate of around 67% for those programs. The program structure, the First Offender Act allows eligible individuals to complete certain conditions. Okay, we already read that one. Oh, violations. It is important to note that failure to comply with these conditions of the program can result in sentencing and a permanent criminal record. Statistics on specific failures are less documented, but the potential for resentencing emphasizes the importance of successful completion. Yeah, that's not really helpful, but it's interesting to see that similar programs have a successful completion rate around 67%. So great question there. Also, shout out to Mr. Brown for dropping the 2-bomb. I appreciate you. Thank you so much for the support. And then what else did we have? Did Amy give some more memberships? Look at Amy gifting some more memberships. She gifted 5 more. If y'all got one of those memberships from Amy, make sure you say thank you. Oh my gosh. Thank you so much, Amy. And then what are y'all saying? Little Gambler says they're on lunch break. The lawyers left. Okay. And I'm going to see if we have any other updates. Oh, man. I cannot believe that Judge Whitaker, she held us up again. Thank you, Zachary. Zachary Ruff says, dope channel. Thank you for being here. And shout out to Amy. Can we show some love to Amy in the chat? Can y'all spam Amy in here? She shows up here every day and is putting in the work. Supporting, giving us updates. Yeah, she is awesome. Shout out to the awesome, amazing Amy. All right. I haven't seen any updates here yet. Let's see. So Kathy Russin over at Law and Crime says, no jury, they are in plea negotiations. Due to the amount of defendants they are using the courtroom, plea negotiations are never open to the public. The judge is not involved either. Okay, so it's looking like, y'all, I'm gonna be honest. I don't know if we'll have any coverage this week. Just seeing how Fulton County has moved so far, I don't think we're gonna see any updates this week. But we will keep looking and seeing if anything happens. We're gonna still be here every day regardless. So y'all know we're not gonna miss. What else? And thank y'all for showing love to Amy as well. Let me see. I want to look through a couple of things in this indictment. Let's just go to count 1 and count 56. Since they're saying that Jeffrey Williams is the leader of this gang, what did they say? Goodness, count 1. And this was brought up by several of the defense attorneys because pretty much everybody, I mean, let's be real, everybody's mentioning count 1. The grand jurors aforesaid, in the name of and on behalf of the citizens of Georgia, do charge and accuse everybody in count 1 with the offense of conspiracy to violate the RICO Act. For the said accused, together with unindicted co-conspirators in the state of Georgia and county of Fulton, never heard it seen it said that way, on or between the 24th day of January 2013, oh my gosh, and on the 8th day of May of 2022, did unlawfully conspire to acquire and maintain directly and indirectly an interest in and control of the United States currency and other personal property through a pattern of racketeering activity in violation of the RICO Act, and while associated with an enterprise did unlawfully conspire to conduct and participate in, directly and indirectly, such enterprise through a pattern of racketeering activity in violation of the RICO Act. As described below and incorporated by reference as if fully set forth herein, contrary to the law of said state, the good order, peace, and dignity thereof. Have y'all seen this? Maybe I missed it somewhere. An interest in and control of the United States currency. Didn't we hear from detectives that they never even looked into Young Thug's finances? How do they have him on count 1? I'm not seeing it. Part 1, the conspiracy. As associates of the enterprise Young Slime life, here in after YSL, it'll be referred to. The defendants conspire to associate together and with others for the common purposes of illegally obtaining money and property through a pattern of racketeering activity and conducting and participating in the enterprise through a pattern of racketeering activity. In furtherance of the conspiracy, the defendants engaged in the activities enumerated herein. The objectives of the conspiracy included, but were not limited to, preserving, protecting, and enhancing the reputation, power, and territory of the enterprise through acts of racketeering activity, including murder, assault, and threats of violence. Preserving, protecting, and enhancing the reputation, power, and territory of the enterprise by the posting of messages, images, videos, and songs.
Stop the cap.
Demonstrating allegiance to the enterprise and a willingness to engage in violence on its behalf. Maintaining armed individuals ready and willing to preserve, protect, enhance the reputation, power, and territory of the enterprise through the use of violence. So the U.S. military is a gang. And the biggest gang, I suppose. I mean, I guess there's going to be a RICO charge against the United States military. Thank you to all our servicemen and women here. Y'all know I love you on this channel. Obtaining money, weapons, and other property through the acts of racketeering activity, including robbery, theft, and the unlawful sale and distribution of drugs, and obstructing law enforcement investigations and court proceedings through witness intimidation and acts upon law enforcement officers. Part 2, the enterprise. YSL is an enterprise consisting of a group of individuals associated, in fact, although not a legal entity. YSL constitutes an ongoing organization whose members function as a continuing unit for the common purpose of achieving the objectives of the enterprise. The history of YSL is a criminal street gang that started in late 2012 in the Cleveland Avenue area of Atlanta, Georgia. They told me to stop calling it Cleveland. All right, I'm gonna not do it anymore. My bad, y'all. YSL claims affiliation with the National Bloods gang, but weren't there Crips in there too in YSL? YSL founders were Jeffrey Williams, aka Young Thug, aka Slime, Walter Murphy, aka DK, and Trontavious Stevens, aka Tick, aka Slug. Jeffrey Williams, an Atlanta-based hip-hop artist, made YSL a well-known name by referring to it in songs and on social media, as did others. The identifiers. YSL associates use a variety of identifiers, including colors, clothing, tattoos, and hand signs, as well as verbal and written identifiers. YSL claims affiliation with the National Bloods gang, and some associates also claim the Blood subset gang, SEG's Money Murder, or 30 Deep. YSL associates often display their colors by wearing green or red bandana on their person, a practice known as flagging. YSL associates often wear clothing with the letters YSL or the word slime printed on them. YSL associates also often wear pendants displaying the letters YSL. They got chains or the word slat. It's like they're just throwing stuff in here. Oh man. The most predominant YSL colors are red for Bloods and green for slime. YSL associates use a variety of hand signs. One of the most common hand signs, wiping the nose with the index finger. Y'all see it every day. Another frequently used YSL hand sign consists of curling the ring pinky finger inwards toward the palm while extending the thumb with the middle finger slightly curved. Oh man, I'm not gonna do it. The extended middle finger and index fingers represent the Y. The curved middle finger and the curved ring finger represent the S. The extended index finger and the thumb represent the L. YSL associates also make the two guns hand sign by forming two pistols with their fingers and pointing them in the opposite directions. All right. YSL associates use a variety of other identifiers. Often, YSL associates will write or say the word blat and slat, which means blood, love, all the time. No, that means Bible love all the time. What are y'all talking about? Often, associates will simply refer to each other as blood or slime. They also refer to Cleveland Avenue as Bleveland, replacing the C with a B. Green heart, green snake, blowing the nose, and green vomit emojis are also symbols commonly used by YSL members. So whoever created those emojis is also a member of YSL. Primary locale. YSL associates are predominantly active in Southeast Atlanta and Cleveland Avenue area, but are expanding their activities into the surrounding metropolitan Atlanta area. All right, and then we got the acts in the furtherance of the conspiracy. We've got all the acts committed here. We've got Trontavious Stevens, Justin Cobb, Shannon Stillwell, Jeffrey Williams. Let's see what he did. An associate of YSL did commit the felony offense of theft by... There it goes. See, so I mentioned to y'all that Thug had to be... They had to get him on this count. And I don't know why they didn't list it here, but where's theft by receiving stolen property number 8? But they didn't have it under his name because of the guns and the drugs. So I don't know why this indictment is done this way. It doesn't really make a lot of sense, but it's clear that they were trying to get Thug on theft by receiving. Either way, Jeffrey Williams, an associate of YSL, did commit the felony offense of theft by receiving stolen property when he possessed property, to wit, a firearm, the property of Ann Phillips, that William knew or should have known was stolen with the intent of depriving Ann Phillips of said property in violation of Georgia pursuant to OCGA 16-8-7, which is an act of racketeering activity under 16-14-3 and an overt act in furtherance of the conspiracy. So there's that for Young Thug as well. We got Antonio Sledge in here, possession of cocaine with intent to distribute. Can't be doing that. Defendant Young Thug, Jeffrey Williams, an associate of YSL, appeared in the video released on social media titled Ew, where defendant states, "Red just like Elmo, but I never effing giggle." YSL won't fold, pick his butt off from the balcony. I try and not edit. What's the word? I try and censor these lyrics sometimes, but it's a struggle, y'all. YSL fold, pick his butt up off from the balcony. YSL wipe a ninja nose. I'm a fuck for the cash. Then she getting robbed by Tick in a Bentley on Wesley, getting trailed by a sniper. All I ever wanted was the money. Put your hands in the air if you dare. Any MFer to step over here. F&M, put him in a wheelchair. An overt act in furtherance of the conspiracy. So these are where they're using the lyrics, which is insane, in my opinion. Lyrics, y'all. Do y'all see this? This entire section 9, is about lyrics. What? Man. All y'all artists out there, y'all better watch out. Defendant Jeffrey Williams, an associate of YSL, did pose for a photo released on social media wearing red clothing. He was dripping in blood, as Miss Love would say, and flashing a YSL gang sign, an overt act in furtherance of the conspiracy. No flashing gang sign. So they already got me. Y'all see me up here every day throwing up the CEB gang sign. So I guess they got us on the Rico too. Defendant Jeffrey Williams, an associate of YSL, did rent a 2014 silver Infiniti Q50 sedan from Hertz Rental Car, which was used in the commission of the murder of Donovan Thomas, a rival gang member, on the 10th day of January 2015, which is an act of racketeering activity under 16-14-3 and an overt act in the furtherance of the conspiracy. Not to mention, they gave the person who was driving the car, or the person who Young Thug gave the car to, immunity, right? But we're not gonna mention that. We're just gonna keep it moving. What else did they get Young Thug on? We got Justin Cobb up in here, Young Thug, Jeffrey Williams, an associate of YSL, and Kyle Uri, the leader of the criminal street gang Segs Money Murder, did engage in a conversation with one another. And the conversation stated that sacrifices must be made, soldiers must fall in order for the battle to be won. The conversation further states, per all 5 H2O Street Life, KG the God, 3 Shot, Nasty New, and M1, the AKAs of the 5 leaders of Segs Money Murder in Georgia. Anybody not under one of these individuals in the state of Georgia must line up. Oh my gosh. Pete Sapp. There is no rolling from one to the other. Everything is as if you are one. Segs Money Murder. Nothing added and nothing taken away. 2 guns. An overt act in furtherance of the conspiracy. Okay. Defendant Jeffrey Williams, an associate of YSL, did appear in a video released on social media 16 days after the murder of Donovan Thomas, stating, "So a ninja lie to their mama, lie to their kids, lie to their brothers and sisters, then get right into the courtroom and tell the God's honest truth. Don't get it. Y'all ninjas need to get effing killed, bro." Oh my gosh. I can't believe I read that out loud. From me and YSL. An overt act in furtherance of the conspiracy. Call it a coincidence. Defendants Demekion Garlington and Jeffrey Williams, associates of YSL, did appear in the video released on social media displaying YSL gangs hand signs and blood gang signs with the caption, "You dig 30, YSL X or YSL coming soon," an overt act in furtherance of the conspiracy. Hold on, are y'all saying I'm missing something? Okay, we should be good. Amy's saying Shannon's not taking the deal. Amy, where did you hear this? So Amy's saying Shannon didn't take a deal. Not surprised. Sledge's plea deal was recorded. Why can't theirs be as well? Well, Judge Whitaker's not there yet. Oh, okay, TLA said that. Shout out to TLA. I mean, if TLA's saying it, I don't know that he would say anything that's not true. But Judge Whitaker's not there. So these are just the plea negotiations. They're not actually entering the plea yet. Let's keep going on this. So we got that one. I want to see what else they got Jeffrey Williams on. Defendants Martinez Arnold, Demekion Garlington, DeMonte Kendrick, Shannon Stillwell, and Jeffrey Williams, associates of YSL, did pose for a photo. How dare you? Released on social media, flashing a YSL gang hand sign, an overt act in furtherance of the conspiracy. Yikes. Here we go. This is just Young Thug, y'all. So I know there's a lot in here about some other BS that Young Thug allegedly encouraged or was somehow involved in. But we got Demekion Garlington, Antonio Sledge. We went through a couple of these. Demekion and Antonio Sledge, dummy. Demekion, Trontavia Stevens. Jeffrey Williams, an associate of YSL, did commit the felony offense of terroristic threats while Christopher May attempted to inform Williams that he was no longer welcome at the Perimeter Mall. Oh, not the Perimeter Mall. Dang. Williams stated, "If you continue to approach, I'll shoot you in the face with a gun," in violation of the Georgia law pursuant, which is an act of racketeering under and an overt act in furtherance of the conspiracy. I didn't see YSL anywhere in this statement. So how that's in furtherance of the conspiracy, I don't know. Jeffrey Williams, an associate of YSL, appeared in the video released on social media titled Slime Shish, where lyrics state, "Hey, this is Slime Ish. Hey, YSL Ish. Hey, killing." I'm not reading that. Y'all get the idea. Let's keep it moving. So we got Antonio Sumlin. Jeffrey Williams, associates of YSL, did appear in the video released on social media captioned "Original Slime-ish," showing Young Thug flashing YSL gang signs with lyrics stating "Murder Gang-ish. YSL until we're dead and pale." An overt act in furtherance of the conspiracy. Yikes. Jeffrey Williams, an associate of YSL, did appear in the video released on social media. Anybody, or it's captioned "Anybody," with Young Thug or Jeffrey Williams stating, "I never killed anybody, but I got something to do with that body." Oh God, Young Thug, why? "I told them to shoot 100 rounds. Ready for war like I'm Russian. I get all types of cash. I'm a general." An overt act in furtherance of the conspiracy. Keep your mouth shut. It's that simple. Defendant Jeffrey Williams, associate of YSL, did appear in the video released on social media titled "Bad Boy," with the lyrics stating, "You better watch the way you breathe around me, for that breath be your last, boy. Smith & Wesson 45 put a hole in his heart, better not play with me. Killers, they stay with me. I shot at his mommy, now he no longer mention me. I had on Mary. I don't know what that is. When I shot the, oh my gosh. Act like you want war and they're gonna smoke you like a blunt. Goodness. Y'all are saying court at 1 p.m.
Stop the cap.
We'll see. We'll see. I haven't seen any updates, but we will see. There's probably not going to be any updates today. Amy says Nichols 20 do 7. What? Just saw this on Lead Attorney. They said he has other charges pending in Fulton County, which is why he took this deal. Yeah, that makes sense. Says he dropped the murder. They dropped the murder charge? Wow. All right, hold on a second. Here's what I'm going to do. Let me do this. Oh, you know what? I don't even know if I'm going to be able to do this. Give me 1 second, y'all. Let me see. Redirect. Channels. All right, here's what I'm going to do. I need y'all to do me a major favor. First off, if you could, make sure you like the video. It's free. It helps the channel continue to grow. If y'all could like the video, I would appreciate it. What I'm going to do is, since TLA seems to have the scoop, I'm going to send y'all over there. When I send you over there, what's going to happen is this live stream is going to end and you're going to immediately go over to the Lead Attorney's live stream. If y'all could let him know that I sent y'all over there, say what's up. If he's got the scoop, I'm going to go over there and watch it too. So I'm going to end this live stream. We'll be back tomorrow morning, hopefully with some more updates. Y'all make sure you tell TLA that I sent you over there, and we'll be back tomorrow. All right. So I appreciate y'all. Thank y'all for all the love and support. Thank you to everybody who sent in the super chats. We're going to be live tomorrow, 9:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. We'll have some more updates for you, and I hope y'all have a great rest of your day. You know what to do. Keep growing, keep pushing, keep it classy. We gone. Peace. And it's going to take y'all over there.